whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Thank you very much. We'd love to hear your opening statement. Take as long as you need.
Chairman Hawley, Ranking Member Durbin, and distinguished members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Sarah Wynne-Williams, and I served as the Director of Global Public Policy at Facebook, now Meta, for nearly 7 years, starting in 2011. Throughout those 7 years, I saw Meta executives repeatedly undermine US national security and betray American values. They did these things in secret to win favor.
Okay. Now, in defense of Meta and Facebook kids, I don't really know what she's talking about. And she says she just entered in 2011. Well, according to her, there has been a whole bunch. There was the 1989 against China, the Tiananmen, fight against, the Chinese communists back then. I don't really know there's nothing new about that. I mean, especially with me, because I used to watch China Cry, which has a lot of the history of China. So here you go.
With Beijing and build an $18 billion business in China. We are engaged in a high-stakes AI arms race against China. And during my time at Meta, company executives lied about what they were doing with the Chinese Communist Party to employees, shareholders, Congress, and the American public. I sit before this committee today to set the record straight about these illegal and dangerous activities. Meta's dishonesty started with the betrayal of core American values.
Okay, she has an accent. It doesn't sound like she's American. But according to what she just said right there, I'm not really sure if she might be part Russian or part, because if you remember, John Paul II was against a lot of the Communist Party. The Nazis were Communist Party with Hitler in Germany, when they tried to take France land, and they tried to take UK when they tried to bomb UK when Queen Elizabeth II was young. So, all these things are nothing new, guys. I mean, it's okay, but, and plus, all this stuff has been in the library and on these documentaries all these years. Anyways, I'm only like 50 years old. I crying out loud. Unless they never really studied this stuff.
Mark Zuckerberg pledged himself a free speech champion. Yet I witnessed Meta work hand in glove with the Chinese Communist Party to construct and test custom-built censorship tools that silenced and censored their critics. When Beijing demanded that Facebook delete the account of a prominent Chinese dissident living on American soil, they did it. And then lied to Congress when asked about the incident in a Senate hearing. The willingness to censor was not the only troubling thing I witnessed. I watched as executives decided to provide the Chinese Communist Party with access to Meta user data, including that of Americans. Meta does not dispute these.
Not everybody are Americans, okay, kids? A lot of the people that is on Facebook are Australians, they're English people. Oh, they're all over the world, crying out loud.
Thanks. They can't. I have the documents. As recently as this Monday, they claim that they do not operate their services in China. Another lie. In fact,
I actually disagree with this, kids, because they do tell you, not every country accepts some of the things that I have on my thing. So, like some movies or something, I post they don't accept a lot of the countries. It'll tell me, okay, only so many countries could take this because not all the countries accept this. Okay.
They began offering products and services in China as early as 2014. That hasn't stopped. Their own SEC filings from last year show that China is now Meta's second biggest market. Meanwhile, Meta's AI model, Llama, has contributed significantly to Chinese advances in AI technologies like DeepSeek. Facebook's secret mission to get into China was called Project Aldrin and was restricted to need-to-know staff. There was no bridge too far. Meta built a physical pipeline connecting the United States and China. Meta executives ignored warnings that this would provide backdoor access to the Chinese Communist Party, allowing them to intercept the personal data and private messages of American citizens.
All right, kids. This girl is because American citizens are not all American citizens. But anyways, all right, kids. I don't really agree with this girl.
Meta started briefing the Chinese Communist Party as early as 2015. These briefings focused on critical emerging
Yeah, that's when Trump was running for president. Thank you very much.
The explicit goal being to help China outcompete American companies. There's a straight line you can draw from these briefings to the recent revelations that China is developing AI models for military use, relying on Meta's Llama model. Meta's internal documents describe their sales pitch for why China should allow them into the market by, quote, helping China increase global influence and promote the China dream. The truth about what has gone on in China matters. I filed a shareholder resolution asking Meta's board to investigate its activity in China, and I filed whistleblower complaints with the SEC and the DOJ. The measure of how important these truths are is directly proportionate to the ferocity of Meta's efforts to censor and intimidate me.
Okay, kids, I know a lot of Chinese people too. They were actually friends of Queen Elizabeth II. Anyways, okay, I don't really want to hear this. I'm gonna play a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna turn it off because a lot of stuff she's saying to me it doesn't really matter. I mean, because God controls everything. If God wants everything dead, it'll be completely dead. Okay, we lived without any of this before. We could still live without it. All right, here you go.
I relied on their commitment given in 2018 that they would waive their rights to pursue forced arbitration. Despite that public commitment, they've brought a case against me for hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, they have a legal gag order that silences me, even as Meta and their proxies spread lies about me.
Yeah, but silence you for what? You're not even
so expansive that
saying anything new, but maybe because of the lies.
The gag order was sought by a company whose CEO claims to be a champion of free speech. The American people
I am the champion of free speech. MarkSuckerburg's never on the Facebook. I didn't let us know what is going on.
Compromise its values,
Okay.
sacrifice the security of its users, and undermine American interests to build its China business.
Well, business is a business. All right. They want to go there before TikTok. All right. Anyways, all right, guys. I think that's enough. A business is a business. There's a whole bunch of American business in I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. When a whole bunch of things that are made in China, hello, business is business. Everybody in the world is selling it. I mean, is buying it. So, all right. I just think that Jesus Christ, amen.